So I think the moment for me was I was in my third trimester with my first baby, and I just remember feeling so overwhelmed and just looking around our apartment at just all of this stuff everywhere and just feeling like, man, I've got to make space for this baby. I have all of these things to clean. How am I going to do this? Hi, I'm Heather, and if you're new to my channel, I have an 11-month-old named Judah, a husband named Jerry, and a fur baby named Bernadette. And I just recently really started diving into this whole minimalism journey and simplifying our home and our lives, and I'm really loving it, and I'm really loving sharing it with you guys. So today I just thought I would do a quick little video just talking about why I became a minimalist and how. And honestly, even still calling myself a minimalist feels kind of weird to me. I almost feel like an imposter sometimes using that term, but really it is a lifestyle that I am embracing more and more every day and that I feel like really aligns with our values. So I just want to share a little bit more about that with you guys today in case it's something that you are interested in starting yourselves. So I guess first I'll kind of start with what minimalism even is to me. And for our family, it really isn't about depriving ourselves or going without. It's really about creating just a more simplified home where we're not searching for things, we're not digging through stuff. We can come home and feel relaxed and at peace. And that's really the biggest goal for our family, is creating a home that is peaceful, that feels joyful, that has less stress, and that just flows smoothly. And I really feel like since we started this minimalism journey, it has just changed everything in that regard. I feel like the more we simplify it and the more we get rid of the excess, the more we're able to really enjoy the things that we do have, and just the more at peace overall that we feel. So really for me, it started a few years back. I was knee deep, not even knee deep, like up to my neck in debt. And I remember just getting to this breaking point of, what am I going to do? I was working as a teacher at the time, living in a condo by myself. I wasn't married yet. I hadn't even met my husband. And I really didn't make a lot of money. And I just remember feeling so lost and just so overwhelmed, and like I could just never get out from getting a little emotional just talking about it. I didn't expect to get so emotional. But I just remember feeling like, how am I going to get out from under this? And fast forward, I just started getting rid of all of the excess in my life. I started selling things. I remember I had even actually just bought like a couple of new clothing items, and I got so desperate at this point that I was like returning items and just getting that $20 back and putting that $20 towards debt. I was working 3 jobs, and I think that was the start of the mindset shift for me. I had gone from this just major consumerism of just mindless spending to where I finally got to this breaking point, and I finally started this mindset shift of not buying things that I didn't have the money for and not keeping extra things that I didn't need. I sold all of the extra stuff. I used that cash, put it back towards debt. And so that was kind of like the beginning, but it was nowhere near where I'm at now. So fast forward, I ended up paying off about $20,000, a little over $20,000 before we got married. But I still had this pull towards buying things, kind of like at an emotional level. It was kind of my coping mechanism, even still at this point, even after paying off all that debt. And even after we got married, we were still going really hard on budgeting and paying off debt and really sticking to a tight budget. But the mindset shift hadn't really fully developed in me yet. It was still a struggle. And so, like I mentioned before, it wasn't really until probably my 3rd trimester I was in that like full-on nesting phase, just cleaning like every crevice of our home, getting rid of like everything extra. We lived in a tiny 3-story condo, but it was like garage, living room, bedroom. And so it wasn't like it was open space where you could put a bunch of stuff. And I just remember thinking, oh my gosh, this baby's about to be here. We barely have any space. We need space for his stuff. And so I just started getting rid of all of my extra stuff. I started getting rid of decor, anything that we just did not actually need, I was getting rid of. And I just remember looking around our home and just feeling so overwhelmed by all of the stuff that we had and feeling like, why did I even buy this stuff, you know? So that was really kind of the turning point for me. Once I got rid of the stuff and started seeing the change in my mood, seeing the change in my mindset, it really was kind of just the beginning. And I really didn't even know anything about minimalism at the time. It wasn't even on my radar. So fast forward a few more months, we have our baby, and then we move into a bigger place. And even after we had gotten rid of all of that stuff, there was still so much stuff to move. And I was yet again just feeling so overwhelmed by all of the stuff that we had. And so after we moved in, I just remember wanting to get rid of everything, just declutter, declutter, declutter. And I started this process of kind of what I've been sharing with you guys on my channel of just going through every single room, every single drawer, every single closet in our home and just seeing what we could part with, what we could really get it down to. And that's really when I started learning more about minimalism. I had just recently heard about the Minimal Mom and I kind of started learning some things from her. I read the book The Minimalist by Joshua Becker. And it kind of just started clicking for me. Before, when I had heard of minimalism and I had heard the Minimalist podcast, I always just thought it was this weird thing that, you know, that only like weird people did, that just wear black every day. And I always thought that can never be me. I can never be a minimalist because I like style and I like decor and I like color. And that was kind of what I thought of minimalism as. But as I started learning more about it and reading more about it, I thought, oh, this actually makes a lot of sense. It's not about depriving yourself or wearing the same thing every day. It's really more about the mindset of simplifying and thinking about how much you want to manage and switching that mindset from consumerism to being more mindful of what we're bringing into our home. And once I started learning these things and applying them, I started to see how this actually is something that I can do. And this is something that I feel like really aligns with our values and that we can really benefit from. And since then, I haven't looked back. I've just been moving forward and thinking about what else we can simplify, what else we can get rid of that we don't need. And it's really changed my mindset on what I bring into our home. I'm a lot more mindful of what I buy for myself, what I buy for my husband, even what I buy for my family, because not only do I not want to clutter up our home or bring things into our home that we don't need, but I'm really mindful about the gifts that I give. I feel like I was before, but now even more so, I want to make sure that when I'm gifting something to someone, it's something that they can really use. And it's not something that's just going to go in a drawer or, get thrown away, and that they actually need. So it's just really been a huge mindset shift for me. And I definitely wouldn't say, that I've arrived. I don't know if anyone's ever really arrived. I feel like it's a continuous process. And more that you work those muscles of kind of getting rid of stuff and learning about what you actually need and what feels like a good level of things to have in your home for your family, the easier it gets and really the more you want to do it. Of course, you don't have to be a minimalist to apply a lot of these principles or to declutter your house or simplify your home. You can start this no matter where you're at, really, or even if you feel like, oh, I don't ever want to be a minimalist, I would just encourage you to try it. And so that kind of goes on to my next point, and that is, so you want to be a minimalist, where should you start? And what I would say to that, and this is what I did, is find the biggest pain point in your life or in your home and start there, because that's going to have the biggest impact. So what I mean by that is, what is causing you the most stress or anxiety or taking away from your peace? For me, it was our closet. And if you haven't seen that video, I did a huge closet declutter, and that was pretty much the beginning for us in the space that we're in now. And the reason that I started in the closet is because that was something that was causing me a lot of stress. When I went to get ready in the morning, I felt like I didn't have anything to wear, which was just amplified with being postpartum and, emotional and my body changing and everything. So even more so, I felt like I have nothing to wear, nothing looks good on me, and yet my closet is busting at the seams. And then adding to that, we had no other storage and we needed a separate sleeping place for our babies. So for us, it just made a lot of sense to start there because it had the biggest impact. And the other place that I would suggest starting is maybe the place that is just the most visually obtrusive. Obtrusive, is that the right word? The place that you see all the time, that's right in front of you, that's causing stress. So for example, another big pain area for us was our entryway, because as soon as we walked in the door, there it is staring at you, and it kind of set the tone for how you feel when you walk in your house. So maybe pick an area that is kind of like the big traffic area that you see all the time, because if you start there, once you see that impact, then you're going to be more likely to keep going. And it'll kind of give you a chance to kind of just try out minimalism and see how you like it. And then you can just kind of go as far as you want. You don't have to be a full-blown minimalist, but I think anyone can benefit from minimizing and simplifying, whether they are someone who has 10 clothing items or someone who has 50 clothing items. It's really going to be more about what works for you and your family. But no matter what that looks like for you, I really think anyone can benefit from it. I know for me, before I started all this, I just remember feeling so overwhelmed in like every aspect. I remember feeling like I was failing as a wife, I was failing as a mom, I was not doing as good at my job as I wanted to, I wasn't keeping up at the home like I wanted to, and just feeling like it was all way too much for me to manage, and just feeling like crap about it every day, and feeling like this is not the woman that I want to be. This is not the mom that I want to be. This is not the wife that I want to be. And fortunately, my husband is amazing. He does not mind helping clean or cook or any of that stuff. In fact, I think he cooks more than I do. But still, I just felt like I'm the one working from home. He's going to work every day to a full-time job. And I just want to be able to create a peaceful environment for both of us. I'm like getting emotional again just talking about it. And just feeling like I couldn't do it. Like I just couldn't keep up with it all. And I'm not saying that this solves everything, but it definitely flows into every other area of our lives. It flows into budget and spending. That's something that's been really important to us because we are so close to being debt-free, and minimalism goes hand in hand with that, because obviously the less that you're consuming, the less that you're buying and bringing into your home, the more money you're going to be able to save or put towards other things that are important to you. Maybe for you it's not debt, maybe it's being able to have more experiences with your family, maybe it's being able to save for your kids. But whatever it is, I feel like we can all benefit from saving money. And when you're saving more money and things are flowing better in your home, then it just comes naturally that there's going to be less stress, less anxiety. And when there's less stress and more anxiety, then you're going to have a more peaceful home. And that's going to affect your relationship with your spouse or with your partner, or with your kids or whoever it is, or even just the way that you feel about yourself. So it's so much bigger for me and for us than just having less things. It really is the whole lifestyle of wanting to be more intentional and to just live a better life. And I know now I'm getting kind of deep and philosophical here, but I would really just say if you want to start with the biggest pain point area, start with the place that is most visually distracting, and just see how that goes. And then you'll feel so much better at least just having that space done. And then you can start on the next thing and then the next thing. And next thing you know, you'll have your whole house simplified and decluttered or minimized. And once you start seeing the benefits of that, then I bet that you'll want to keep going on the journey. So that's my story. That is how I got started. That's why I got started. I hope that it inspires you. And if you have any questions, then definitely feel free to leave me a comment or message me over on Instagram. And I would love to hear from you. I would love to hear your ideas or your stories as well. So definitely feel free to share. If you're not already subscribed, I hope that you will hit that subscribe button and continue to join me on this journey. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.